Hello there. You're now with me, Shao Shamanatro, for TVS News at 5. Let's begin with this highlight. The year 2021 has brought Malaysians a tumultuous time and challenges which was brought not only by the emergence of the Omicron variant but also the current flash flood situation, leaving most in devastation. However, the community have been called upon to maintain the spirit of racial unity and selflessness as we brace ourselves for an exciting new year.
Dudong Assemblyman Datuk Sri Tiong King Sing hopes that Malaysia would experience less turbulence in 2022 and advised Malaysians to not lose hope in ensuring a smooth sailing year. As with the spirit of unity, the nation will be able to face all challenges and get through the ordeal without fear. In addition, he expresses his gratitude to fellow frontliners who have assisted during the flood situation in providing a safe zone for the locals while also being persistent despite rough times, setting an example for other communities. Commenting further, Tiong also added that the emergence of the Omicron variant will definitely be a daunting challenge of the pandemic encounter. However, he hopes that all parties would stay strong to win the long war against the pandemic. During the 12th Sarawak state election, Datuk Sri Tiong King Sing won the Dudong seat under the Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS coalition with 9,390 votes.
Sarawak will be better with the new cabinet lineup, as the state's development agenda is the main focus for the cabinet by performing their duties and expediting the plans towards a developed state.
Sarawak Assistant Minister of Transport Datuk Dr. Jerip Susil believes that the master plan executed last year as well as programs could be carried out smoothly among the transportation sector in Sarawak.
Dan ini adalah suatu tanda yang baik di mana kita ingin kesinambungan daripada program-program yang kita telah mengadakan dalam Malaysia ini, dan kami bersama dengan staf saya di kementerian dan bersama dengan menteri iaitu Datuk Seri Lee Kim Chin akan melaksanakan program-program yang telah kita rancang pada awal dulu tahun 2020-2021. Dan dengan adanya perundakan yang baru ini, kita yakin bahawa kita dapat melancangkan apa yang kita mencapai dari segi hala tuju pengangkutan sebagai suatu elemen catalyst kepada pembangunan negeri Sarawak. Okay?
Earlier on Thursday, Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg announced his new line of cabinet comprising of 10 ministers and 26 assistant ministers.
Now, it has been a long journey for Datuk Sri Dr. Sim Kui Hian, who marked his 10 years in politics. Is now following his father's footstep. The doctor-turned-politician was recently appointed as the third Deputy Chief Minister, while also helming his previous ministerial post as the Minister of Public Health, Housing and Local Government. Now, Sim took to his Facebook page to express his gratitude and is ready to give better service to the people.
In the post, he recalled the time when his father, the late Tan Sri Dato' Amar Sim Keng Hong, was first appointed as the Minister for Local Government in 1970, followed by his Deputy Chief Minister post in 1974 under the governance of Tun Datuk Patinggi Abdul Rahman Yaakob and later Tun Pehin Sri Abdul Taib Mahmud. He also finds it incredulous how his current office in Wisma Bapa Malaysia is the same office when his father was serving as a minister in Sarawak. Although they had different paths at the beginning, as his father was a hard-working contractor and timber merchant, before being involved in politics, life he described as a destiny determined by a greater power, and it would need a strong support and belief system, both internally and externally, so that it can manifest to become good things that can benefit the people.
And now on to the next update. The number of flood evacuees in Terengganu continued to increase, while Kelantan, Pahang and Selangor recorded a decline as of noon today.
In Terengganu, a total of 390 people from 115 families are currently taking shelter at 2 relief centers PPS in the Dungun district compared to 388 people this morning. State Disaster Management Secretariat Chief Lieutenant Colonel P.A. Rosman Abdullah said 225 victims from 60 families were still at the PPS in Kampong Syukur Multipurpose Hall, while 165 people from 55 families were placed at the Kampong Pasir Raja Community Hall. According to the Department of Irrigation and Drainage DID official Info Banjir portal, 3 stations, namely Sungai Besut at Keruak Bridge, Sungai Dungun in Kampong Pasir Raja Dungun, and Sungai Nerus in Kampong Langkap Setiu were reported to be above the warning level.
Now, Sarawak and Kelantan be allowed to transition to Phase 4 the National Recovery Plan (NRP) on Monday. This was agreed by the government following the decline of COVID-19 cases and as a starting point to revive 6 sectors, said Senior Defence Minister Dato Sri Hishamuddin Tun Hussein.
He said this decision was taken based on the current risk assessment undertaken by the Health Ministry and National Security Council, and the exit of these 2 states from Phase 3 means that all states in the country will be in Phase 4, the final phase of the PPN. Nevertheless, Hishamuddin urged the people not to be complacent as COVID-19 is still a threat to their safety and health, especially with the emergence of the Omicron variant.
On the other hand, a total of 2,219 tourism companies will benefit from the license renewal fee exemption following the Tourism, Arts and Culture Ministry announcement over the further extension of the matter. The 6-month fee exemption worth 1,646,100 ringgit would come into effect from January 1 to June 30.
Prior to this, the ministry had granted the fee exemption twice since January 2021 to June 30 and from July 1 to December 31, aimed at assisting industry players affected by travel restrictions and constraints caused by the pandemic. MOTAC in a statement said the exemption was also given to tourism operators and tour guides who have yet to receive the approval for license renewal and those who have obtained the approval but were unable to make the payment due to the National Recovery Plan. In this regard, the ministry hoped that the eligible parties would take the opportunity to apply for renewal within the set period according to the expiration date of their respective licenses.
Welcome back. And now on to our world affairs. As winter sets in, Razia, a 35-year-old mother of 5 who collects leaves and branches in the autumn to heat her home in a cave in the central province of Bamiyan, is worried about how to survive the freezing temperatures this year as her family suffers from food scarcity.
کاربار شاورما نیه دیگه فعلا کاربار نیه دیگه انتر رسنا مار بازار باری نیه دیگه انتر سودا پرخت نیه دیگه از دکان یک بوجی بری اینجا یک چیز رو یک گور انتقال میده کدام روز 50 روپیه کار میکنه کدام روز نمیکنه کاربار نیه سال
و همیشه تو است
زمستان همیشه هم تره که زمستو بخیج نیه کاربار از او پیش بازم غلیمت تر بدیم زمستو کارت نیه.
Stories like Razia's are increasingly common in a country struck by severe drought and where money has run dry. Before the Taliban toppled the Western-backed government in August, the economy relied heavily on foreign aid. But with the international community wary of the militant movement and the United States imposing sanctions on some of its leaders, the support has all but disappeared. The United Nations estimates nearly 23 million Afghans, about 55% of the population, are facing extreme levels of hunger, with nearly 9 million at risk of famine as winter takes hold. Life for Afghanistan's poor has always been hard, but it is getting worse. At least 9 people were killed in Chile on Wednesday when a minibus crashed into a truck in the central of O'Higgins region. According to local media, 8 of the 11 occupants of the minibus died at the scene. A few hours later, a 9th person was confirmed dead in a nearby hospital. Among the victims was the driver of the minibus. The circumstances of the crash were still being investigated. The minibus was carrying agricultural workers and was headed west on the H66G route when it crashed into a truck going in the opposite direction. Now, Omicron, combined with the Delta variant, is driving a menacing tsunami of COVID-19 cases. The World Health Organization, WHO, cautioned that the situation is putting immense pressure on national health systems globally.
Recapping WHO's response since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom said that he's highly concerned that Omicron, being more transmissible, circulating at the same time as Delta, is leading to a tsunami of cases.
This is and will continue to put immense pressure on exhausted health workers and health systems on the brink of collapse and again distributing lives and livelihoods.
According to Mike Ryan, the executive director of the WHO's Health Emergencies Program, though Omicron looks like being more transmissible, having a shorter incubation period and causing a mild infection, it's based on the largely young population that the variant has been infecting.
Now that concludes TVS News at 5. For more updates, don't forget to tune in to our 11:30 Nightline tonight with Muhammad Yusuf. Here with me, Shosha Mato, and I'll see you next time. Have a happy New Year.